Hello and welcome to Traffic Talks. My name is Pyro and I talk about what's going on in my life, usually with a lesson I've learned, some tips and tricks you can follow that helped me, and a lot of laughs in each episode. If this sounds like something you would enjoy hearing, feel free to follow the podcast, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and to see what I'm up to, you can check out my Instagram page linked below. Bye! Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I am very excited to be recording this particular episode because spring has sprung and we are finally in September, and the 1st of September is usually spring day, but for me it's the beginning of a whole new 3 months of goals, as you know if you heard last week's episode. So I'm very excited about this next 3 months, and especially this month of September, because I decided to theme the whole month, as you can see by the title, to call it Sustainable September. So this month we'll be focusing on sustainability. It's something I speak about in various contexts all the time. So I thought I'd actually just sit down, hash it out, and do an entire mini-series, so to speak, on my channel just for this month, because it's something I truly love to talk about. So that's what this is. If you like this kind of topics, this entire month is going to be right up your alley, so stay tuned, and if not, you might just learn to like it, so enjoy. A quick rundown of what's going to be happening this month. This week is just the intro week. I'm going to talk about a few things that I particularly enjoy about sustainability, and then I will discuss each week around a particular theme. And I have chosen the good, the bad, and my truth as my 3 themes for the next 3 weeks. So the first week we'll look at all the good around the world, especially different things and how they've affected sustainability and the awareness of it, such as the COVID pandemic. It made people very aware of the impact traveling alone has on the world, how our jobs and things are affected by certain factors, and all sorts of other ways that we can do things, because we've learned what essential workers are. We've learned how small things are vital to our livelihoods, like just being able to go and get groceries, and where those groceries are sourced from, because if roads are locked down, you can't get your groceries to the store, meaning you can't go buy groceries because there won't be any. And that is a very important thing for just being able to live. And the fact that these things need to be transported via different methods. Are they being imported? Are our foods for our people being exported? Like all those different things. And the realization and understanding of it is what I'm going to cover, but it's just all the good things around sustainability. The following week will be all the bad things, like greenwashing, which is basically a way of companies or people being able to say, oh, we are eco-friendly products, we are this, we are that. In the meantime, they aren't. So they slap a sustainability sticker on, or eco-friendly, or sustainably sourced, and we are greenwashed into believing that these things are green and that they are eco-friendly and that they are done in a sustainable way when they are not. So that third week will cover all the bad things. And then the fourth and final week will be my truth around my sustainability, which is I'm not perfect. I don't think everyone or anyone can be perfect at being sustainable and eco-friendly. There are people who try and come very close, and maybe there is someone who's perfect at it. I have not seen that yet, but we try, and I think that is the best thing there is for sustainability. So for this week's episode, I am going to be speaking about my sustainability and what it means to me. The main underlying point is that sustainability looks at the future. And growing up as a 90s kid, we watched the Jetsons when we could. When we were at families' places who had the DSTV, who had Cartoon Network, and we could check out the episode or two, and there was these flying cars and the futuristic outfits and the pets in space. And that's cool, but we can barely survive in our current technological era that we are in, I don't think our generation will live long enough to see interplanetary travel, let alone exploration. And that's just because we haven't learned to be a cohesive unit yet. And by that I mean continents can't get along. There's the war in the Ukraine. We have so much things going on, not just in our communities, in our countries, in our provinces. On our continent, we have all sorts of stuff just going haywire. And the fact that we can't even get along with neighbors, next door people, how are we going to get along with continental neighbors? It's crazy. We still had xenophobic attacks going on a couple years ago, and it's not working. How are we going to get along with aliens if we can't get along with one another and we're all the same planet's people? So it's kind of a devil's advocate, but I don't think we'll get there. And the beauty of seeing those kinds of things growing up is that you can see a better future. But the thing is, you got to put forth effort to get there. And that is what sustainability is to me. We have one planet. There is no second planet for us to move to. You can't just go to another planet if this one's not your speed. That's not how it works. We don't have a backup planet. We have to do what we can with what we got. And right now, we aren't doing that. There are people who aren't putting forth the effort, and that sucks. And the thing is, the minute amount of things we do isn't gonna make that big of a difference. It's essentially a drop in the ocean by comparison to huge conglomerates who are actually trying to drill into the oceans and damage it, who are breaking down important things in our world, and those are the people who are responsible for all the damage. And the thing is, they've been called to task and they can't undo the damage they've done. So people are trying to be more resourceful, more responsible by doing things like buying secondhand, trying not to consume as much that damages the earth, all those kinds of things. People are also very smart about their purchases they make, and this is actually something that a lot of people even debate about. Is it better to buy secondhand? Is it best to find a completely new alternative? All these kinds of things. And an example of this that I actually found quite funny was the vegan movement, who do not use animal byproducts in any way, shape or form. So they don't use leather from a cow. They do not use honey from bees. They do not consume it. All those kinds of things. And some don't even use beeswax in lip balms. And to me, personally, I feel that's a bit extreme. There is this subsection of vegans, if I can even put it that way, who do believe in sustainability and will therefore buy a second-hand genuine leather jacket or jeans or something that used to be part of an animal. And to me, that makes sense because you are actually taking something that you disagree with, i.e. buying leather, and actually making it sustainable because you are buying it second hand. Something that would have been thrown away, tossed on a heap, would have just taken up space, is now being renewed for a second, third, maybe even fourth time. And it's all thanks to you. So you are making a difference in that way. And others are like, absolutely not, no way, no how. And to me, that is just defeating the purpose, because the purpose is you are trying to do better for the environment, for the planet, for your people. Why fight about the minute things? That to me is annoying. I don't particularly agree with it. I'm not a vegan, so I don't understand it. But I do know the more we can reuse, reduce, recycle that old chestnut, I think the better off we'll be. And like I said, I'm not perfect at it. There are certain things I refuse to buy secondhand just because I'm just like, I'm not willing to go through this whole nonsense. Like, that is not what I'm living for. And some people might think, oh, that's so terrible. But I'm just like, I'm not willing to fight this battle. Like, there are a lot of things I'm willing to do for the earth. Buying certain things secondhand is not one of them. I point blank refuse. And I think that is something that a lot of people can understand because various aspects tie in to sustainability. Some people choose to go the vegan route, which is cool because that affects various aspects of your life, not just your eating. It affects what you consume and how you consume it. There are also a lot of people who choose the minimalist route when it comes to these things. And that's because when you actually take into account the things you use on a daily basis, where you're getting them from, how you are using them to the fullest, that makes a difference. If you are someone like me who likes physical books, there are certain things I'm not going to get rid of. I'm not going to just throw away my entire book collection, and that's fine. But there are people who would be like, I think I'm going to switch to the paperless version and just do ebooks going forward. You still have all your books. You actually cherish them more because you know you aren't going to add to them. Maybe if there's a limited edition or a special edition of something, you could maybe get that, but you are much more conscious of what you buy and what you use and how you consume it. And I think that is something we can all do, whether we choose to be a vegan, whether we choose to be a minimalist, whether we choose to not do any of those things or even do something completely different. And speaking from personal experience, I'm none of those things. I'm definitely not a vegan. I'm definitely not a minimalist. But I do think very consciously when I buy things, when I choose things, when I use things. I've gone very strategically to shops. When I buy things, I have reusable mugs that I take with when I go. I take reusable mugs when I go to the shop and I know I'm going to be buying Starbucks or Vida or something. I have my reusable bags with me. I'm very conscious about those things. So it's a small thing. It does make a big difference in the end to the earth and your plastics and such. Also a difference to your wallet, because paying for reusable bags each time is expensive. Let me tell you, I once refused to buy a reusable bag just because I have enough and I didn't plan on going to the shop, therefore I didn't have a bag. So that was my folly. I have learned to just always have one on me whether I plan on going or not. So lesson learned. But no, they are just too expensive to buy and we have enough. Why do we need more? So being very aware of your routines and what you do when it comes to buying certain stuff, that is going to make a difference in the end, because money is important in life, but also things are getting way more expensive. So just benefiting the planet by being sustainable might actually help yourself in the long run. And the one thing I think people forget, because I always bring this point up with my parents, you don't get to choose to have grandchildren. You choose to have children. It's my choice whether to have children, therefore giving you grandchildren. And the thing is, the world is hard. It is a hard place to live in. It's a hard place to be in, especially being in South Africa, because we have third world status. And the thing about that is we as a country are overlooked for a lot of opportunities. Overseas, there is many more opportunities for sustainable living, for living on the road, for living in tiny homes. They have the space, they have the knowledge, they have the experience of that. That is not a done thing in South Africa. Our equivalent is shacks, which is definitely not the same thing. And it's seen in two completely different contexts. Tiny homes and small home living is almost praised, whereas living in shacks and small dwellings, so to speak, is completely frowned upon here. So the context of how you live and where you live makes a major difference. With the way we are using things and consuming things and the way that our planet is going, it's getting much harder to breathe, literally, because we are killing the ozone. So bringing more people into this world and not teaching them how to help the earth and to stop harming it is going to be a challenge, but I think we've all got the knowledge, we just aren't practicing it. So let's just practice more. Let's learn to be better human beings and take care of the planet we are living on, because there isn't a backup. And I do not want to be around when things go south and the next thing hits and we are left holding the bag, because that's gonna suck. So let's end this on an upswing and say we all are going to try and do better, not just for ourselves, but for our planet. Because the thing is, we need to leave it in a better state, because we got it in a good way. We did this to ourselves. We've brought this upon ourselves. Let's go out there. Let's be better beings. And let's try and do the most. There's a Michael Jackson song that I'm going to use as this week's Song of the Week. And not only is the song incredible, the music video is insane, and it's called Earth Song. This music video in particular has stuck with me all my life, and I saw it when I was young, and just re-watching it literally makes me want to cry, because it's like, knowledge is power, and we knew about all these things that we have been doing to the planet. Why haven't we done more? And like I said, I'm a 90s kid. It's been more than 20 years. What is going on? What have we done to the world? What are we going to do to fix it? So, yeah, that's my song of the week. I hope you have a good week, and I will see you in next week's episode where I speak about all the good things about sustainability. That's it from me. Love you. Bye.